Good morning, people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Spirit Journey. I hope you all are doing well this morning. Yes, it's early morning. It's November 4th, 2021. The time is 2:22 p.m. according to my clock. Yes, I actually awakened about an hour ago. I was very tired, went to bed early, and then I woke up. And yes, my little doggy wanted to play or something. Yes. Yes, we're all nice and toasty. And I made sure I put on an extra blanket because yesterday I had on this small little blanket. It wasn't that long. And I was getting cold. My little feet got cold. So I did some problem solving. I said, I'm not going to do that again. Yes, so I got another blanket, a longer one. So, yeah, I'm feeling really good right now. Yes, yesterday it was cold in New York City. It was in the low 40s and it was breezy. I'm glad I checked my app. Yeah, that's right. I didn't even have to check my app because it was freezing in my room. So I closed the windows more tightly. Sometimes when you don't close the windows tightly, air escapes in and you get cold. So that helped also. I'm feeling really good and comfortable physically. And so, what I want to talk about today. Oh, sorry, my tummy's growling. I'm sorry. Yeah, what I want to talk about today. Yeah, I feel like in the mood to talk. I know it's just a couple of days since my last video. Um, yeah, I love doing my videos this time of day. Um, I I'm more relaxed. And yes, good morning, Vera. Good morning. Yeah, I like doing my videos this time because um, more clarity of thought. Yeah, more clarity of thought, and I'm about being able to feel comfortable and speak when I feel moved to. You know, I don't want to be preoccupied with what I look like. I just want to get the message out. Those of you who want to hear will hear and listen. And those who aren't, you know, when it's you're able to listen to someone else. It's all good. So what I want to talk about today? Well, when I got up this morning, woke up, awakened about an hour ago. I was going to my device was right next to me, my iPad. So I went through to see what was on, and I came across this young man, some speaker, and he said something very interesting. I heard about the things he talked about. Um, he he talked about the purpose. What is our purpose? Not purpose. About reality, and that we like the. I think the title of his thumbnail was something like that you're selling yourself. That yeah, that people like you. How could you tell if you sold yourself? Something like that. But what it was about was about who you really are, and that because we don't know who we are, we sell ourselves. And the act of knowing who we are. He said we're not, that people have, people's identity, they think is who they see in the mirror, the bodies, and that we are not our bodies. Now, I've heard that before. Just trying to lift it up so yeah, my voice is kind of soft in the morning. Yeah, this is the Manhattan skyline here. It's beautiful. He reiterated, we're not our bodies. And we are not, people get preoccupied with things, that their identity is based on what they have, this physical world. And they'll do anything for these materialisms because they think that we are so connected to this physical world and that we're the physical body. And if they knew otherwise, they'd be really free. I thought it was interesting. And then I said, let me check out his channel. Very interesting. His name, I usually don't give names, but I thought it was interesting. His videos are very short. His name is Jake Ducey. He does have a website, jakeducey.com. And yes, he does sell a program about reprogramming your mind. He said our mind had been programmed. And he's right. I believe he's right. Because you ever notice that you do the same things over and over again? I know I do. And you try to stop. You try to do something else. And then you get sucked back then. And you do, like an addiction. Addiction to patterns, lifestyles, choices, over and over again. And he says he has this to reprogram your mind. I remember growing up in the early 90s. I remember there was this guy who also had this thing about yeah, he had how many DVDs? Not DVD, what do you call it? Oh, they were cassette tapes. I think it was 20 something tapes. About, and it was, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name, but I know you all have seen him. Oh, I think was it Anthony Roberts? Something like that. It could have been Anthony Roberts. Tony Roberts. Tony Roberts, yeah. He's still around. He's still around. Yeah, his commercials come on when I'm watching YouTube videos at times. Yeah, he's still out there. Um, I never did complete his program. That we're maybe the whole thing about reprogram yourself. You have to be ready. When will I be ready? When will any of us be really ready? Well, again, this new fellow, um, Jake Ducey, I don't know. He's interesting to look at. He has a very exotic looking face. He has very long hair. He's a Caucasian fellow, but very unique face. And they said he has a book. He did a 6-month journey trekking the planet to find out his purpose. And you ever feel that way? Sometimes I feel that I want to travel too. I live in a big city, but I want to go outside of myself. I feel like a type of prison that there's sometimes the leash is long and sometimes it's shorter. But I feel like there's a restraint on me, an invisible restraint. But how, I'm sure many of us have said this, we want to go out, we want to venture. And I see that we're like in a self-imposed prison, our mind. Some people, though, they are literally imprisoned. But what about those who are imprisoned in the mind? How do you release yourself from that? How do you get out of your mental prison? This guy also, um, this Jake Ducey, he looks like he's in his early 30s. And on his website, he asks the questions: do you want to become wealthier? Do you want uh, true freedom? Do you want love? There was four things. I forget the other one. And sure, but I told myself when I was reading he asked about four different things in your life. My problem is not a monetary problem. It's not a physical problem. It is a spiritual problem. Because, I have been in the past in a severe economic crunch. So I know what it's like. I mean, it's horrible. Poverty, or the state of poverty, is frightening. And it's frightening, especially if you're a female, because things could I mean, it's just a little extra things that could happen to women out there. And I was living on my own, far away from anybody, and the anxiety that I had because of finance, losing work, and I see how the mind. Let me tell you, I want to share this because I know I'm not alone. Now I was extremely frightened, um, but you know where the real fear was? The real fear was me. How I was to handle the situation. Your mind could make. Yeah, you know you you. Oh, brother. Yes, there are things, when money is lean. But again, my real problem was not money. It was the way how I perceived my problem. I was I when you can't keep your mind calm, it your problem intensifies. It does. Your mind intensifies, and you're more prone to mistakes and to do things irrationally, which could really screw you over. almost like kind of like now. I mean, I shouldn't say like now, but the act of being fearful. That's what I'm getting at. That when you don't know what to do and you start to panic, that you can make a mistake. And sometimes, um, you're not to do anything really. Sometimes you just gotta stay calm. Try to keep your mind from racing, from doing something rash, panicking. Because you jump out of the pot and you go fall into the fiery flames and get consumed. It is a test. It's life could really be repositioning yourself, but you have to trust yourself long enough for it to be effective. Because maybe it's just a waiting period, and actually you will be safe if you stay where you are, and uh, then the news cycle could begin, or the new stage. But it's about trusting yourself. Say, I'm in this jam. I really don't know what to do. But let me just stand here because I don't want to make it worse. The problem. You ever see someone, they do something and they make the problem even worse? Some people who literally sell themselves for a piece of gruel. Don't you know? Don't you have you ever heard of that? They Let's say they run away, a runaway. They run away from danger in their home, and they run out in the street, and they get in worse situation, and they literally have to sell their body to some scumbag who is exploiting them worse. Man, oh wow. Just thinking about that. Yeah, you've seen movies on TV about that. They're living in a household that is not that they don't feel safe, they're angry or sad or feeling betrayal, and then they go and hook up with someone who literally tells them they gotta go out there in the cold and do prostitution or to sell drugs. And a lot of those people who sell their bodies, they do drugs. Hello, people. We're being used, people. We're being used. The devil is out there frightening us. Then we run away from we try to run away from the problem, and we run into the fire, and we sell our bodies. We go into jobs that we loathe. You have people from other parts of the world who trek over here with the little ones, and some of them don't realize that they're being herded into a caravan where those little kids will be used in human trafficking. Human trafficked. Wow. Again, I didn't really know exactly what I was going to talk about here, but I feel led to, I go with what's in my heart. I don't use a script. I'm just going by my heart right now. And I will talk about the New York City uh, mayor thing. Everything's all related. But just imagine you're doing something out of fear. And yes, I've known fear. And a lot of the fear I had was, I would say, maybe 2% was real concerns. Yes, when you lose your job, yes, that is a concern. But I magnified the fear behind it, maybe 98%. Maybe the things that we encounter, it's a phase that we go through. And I think we're being tested, observed, to see what we're really made out of. I hope I pass my tests. Yeah, this is a test right now. This whole pandemic is a big test for all of us. This pandemic. I hope you guys could hear me also and make sure the volume is on. Wow. I hope yeah, that my volume thing was on low. I hope you guys could hear me. Yeah, I hope that fixed the problem, the volume. Is it better or is it the same? Is the volume okay? Was it soft before and now it's okay? I pressed the knob for the volume, so I just hope you guys could hear me. Uh, okay, I see something here, a message. I have to put my glasses on. I had my glasses on. I have what do you call it? Okay, I had my glasses and my filter on. Let's see. Okay. Unleash says, "Hey, I just want to inform you that a big fan of yours who introduced me to your stream pad, oh, passed away tonight. His name was Tommy Bobat. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry too that a friend of yours passed away. Okay. May your friend Tommy Bobat, may he live in peace. Thank you for sharing that. I am so sorry to hear that news that your friend passed away. Yes, may he live in power right now. May he live in power. Um, what what's what state? If is he live in the United States or um, from another country? Where's he from? If you wish to share that. Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing that. I'm so sorry to hear about your friend. But yes, I talk from my heart. See, these days people aren't talking from their heart. They want you to believe in the illusion. And the illusion has no flavor. It's all in your head. Um, yeah, if once the message comes in that the power is low, then I know I have to put the plug back on. So let me just try to finish up. Um, yeah, that you have. We're all of us these days. I should say, many of us are being uh, tested with this pandemic, as I call it a pandemic with the jab in the arm. They want you to think that the common cold, to be afraid of it, or the flu. And in New York City yesterday, it was freezing. It was in the low 40s and felt it. It felt like it was in the 30s. It was cold and windy. So yes, you have to start bundling up, you know. And I was looking into getting those what do you call it, the coveralls. I found a website that sells coveralls. You know what those mechanics wear? It's like a one piece thing, and they have some people for below freezing. I want to get one. Yep, I want to get one because see, I don't want to let this cold weather. I yeah, I don't want to let the cold weather keep me inside. I want to continue going outside because I feel nature is my friend. I want to get close to nature because one thing, nature and air, we need to be connected. When we're disconnected from what our source is, we need air, we need the sun, moderation if you have sensitive skin, but you need to make your vitamin D, and the sun rays helps you make your vitamin D, keeps your bones strong. It helps you um, with depression. When there's less sun out there, it lowers your vitamin D levels. That's D as in David. And when you have low levels, it affects a lot of things in your body. So it will affect your mood. Low vitamin D makes you feel depressed. So make sure, especially if you have dark skin, what they call a person of color. Your skin is brown or black. A melanated people. You require more time in the sun to make your vitamin D. So if you find that you seem more depressed, whatever, in the winter like months, you're probably vitamin D deficient, or you could develop vitamin D deficiency. So make sure, this could be a good purchase for you. They have vitamin D supplements. They have a drop form that you put under your tongue, and then you have, a pill you don't need to swallow. I use the drop one, the one you put under your tongue, because it's fast absorbing. Take that. It's an investment for you. So you may not be depressed. You just may be vitamin D deficient. And I just had a blood work done about 3 days ago. Yeah, about 3 days ago. And they said my labs were good. My vitamin D level, my B2, also B2, B as a boy, uh, 2, uh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I meant to say B12. I meant to say B12. B as in boy, 1, 2, B12. B12. Make sure you get your B12 also. B12 is for your electrical system, your body's electrical, your neurological system. And low B12 levels will also affect, sorry again, yeah, people are being controlled through fear. But we overcome fear. Anyone who's listening to this program right now, fear not. You have a roaring lion living within you. They want us to be afraid of a fucking cold. Excuse my French. It's a cold or flu. And we've all had something like that growing up. What do? We bundled up. We have our chicken soup. You can sweat it out too. Yeah, it makes it. Um, I know some people who make pig feet. Yeah, some of us eat pig feet. I've had pig feet before, and they make it real spicy. You put peppers in it. Man, that will sweat it out. Yeah, and if you have your home remedies for that common cold or flu, Yeah, and you notice that the weather is changing very quickly. New York City, the weather has been changing so rapidly. Yeah, and I said to myself, we're going to have an early winter. People, we're having an early winter. So the test is on now. But we are overcomers. I just felt led to say this because my point of this video is not to the doom and gloom. But yes, I talk about certain things, yes. But the power is in us. And like that person I mentioned in the beginning of this video, um, who was talking about what is reality, and that our bodies that we see in the mirror is not our real selves. It's like an avatar. It is not who we are. He said we are spirit. We're spirit beings, but we are navigating this body. And he talked about happiness also. That about the what was that? Our life purpose is not a destination like an endpoint, but it's the now. He said that our purpose is in the now, and I think he's right. Why are we always talking about what's about tomorrow when it's about the moment? What are you doing now? Your moment. We can't control tomorrow. We can only control the moment. And that's why it's so important in this day and hour to stay calm. And as I share with you, see, I like to share because, see, I was deceived most of my life through self deception and through the lies of society, what society told me. They lied to me. And again, my perception of those things that I was told. I made it seem worse than it really was. A lot of the things that I experienced, I magnified it in my imagination. Yes, there was things to be concerned about, but I can't help but reiterate. And I speak to myself too. See, I have to encourage myself also and tell me these things that you have to stay calm and rational because you're going to have them trying to scare you to do that thing in your arm. But if you already took it, you know, if it was your choice, it's your choice. It's your body. That's what I say. Your body is your choice. It is your choice what goes inside of your body. Ask questions. And if they don't want you to ask questions, that should be a red flag to you. Ask them, hey, could I see the ingredients in that? And if they say, oh, it's a proprietor's secret, I said, well, let that proprietor shove it up his you know what. It has to be about if your doctor tells you, when they say, if your doctor says, oh, are you going to get the jibby job? You say, oh, could you show me the ingredients that are in it? And could you go over it with me? Oh, does that say human fetal tissue in there? Oh, wait a minute. Is that a HIV in that? Doesn't that cause AIDS? Oh, what is this other thing? Nano what? Nanoparticle? What is that? Is this gene therapy? I thought it's supposed to be to destroy this pathogen in my body, but instead it seems to be programming my cells for me to become uh, the Frankenstein's monster. And don't you notice else that guy on Facebook? Don't have you did you guys hear? He's got a, I mean, he has, I think, over 1 billion people with the B as in boy, 1 billion people who are on Facebook. And he wants to change the name. See that? Let me tell you, people, it's my opinion, and again, you can have your opinion, but this is my opinion and perception why when people want to change their name after a problem, see, or with this pandemic, or with this pandemic, he got his hand caught in the cookie jar, and now he wants to revamp. See, he's hurrying. He reminds me of what the Bible talks about, in the what they call the New Testament about Satan. He knows his hour is short, and so he wants to do a number right now and split from his association with uh, Facebook, and now he wants to launch this virtual reality game thing. There's already virtual reality stuff on the internet. I used to have the virtual. I had the Oculus. I had Oculus Rift. I bought it a couple of years ago. It's expensive, and I said to myself, "This isn't real." And I said, "Why am I preoccupied?" I was at first curious about this VR game, and I tried a few times, and I said, I don't want this. And so I threw it out early this year. Yes, I did. I had a whole. I mean, I had the whole thing. It's over $600. I took it out of my house. I mean, my apartment, and I put it in the compact room. I said, I don't want this. I don't want to live in a dream world. And so now, this guy on the owner of Facebook, he looks like a, you know, I mean, he just looks spooky. And from the very beginning with Facebook, I learned about Facebook. I heard like he went to Harvard School, Harvard University, and there was a movie about him. It came out a couple of years back, and I did go to see the movie because I heard about this Facebook and over the media, and then the movie came out about him. He thieved the idea of Facebook. These two guys, and they were Jewish guys also, um, wealthy. They were identical twins, and they came up with this thing that later would be called Facebook. And they had invited this guy, I forget his name, the so-called founder of Facebook, to help him with the program. But instead of helping the twins, he behind the scene did it himself. He stole their idea. That's what I heard from the very beginning of Facebook. And that he used something about women, and that you were to judge the women's looks or something. And I said, what a horrible person that is. The people in the university, the girls, I should say the ladies of Harvard heard about what he was doing about the women there, and they got angry with him. I think he was to apologize something. I'm not sure about that, but it came out, And so that was my introduction of this so-called Facebook. So I had an aversion to it. And I only had gotten my initial account um, because I was told that, I had received an email. And when I went to, the email was from a, uh, a friend that I knew from way back. But I think now in hindsight, the person did not try to contact me. What Facebook was doing, I believe, like that person did have a Facebook account, that friend of mine, and they are able to link people based on like I it seems to be able to track if you have an email that the other person has or a phone number, and it links it and it notifies you for you to come on, or so and so wants to get in contact with you or something like that. They weren't trying to get in contact with me. They fooled me. But now they do that. Oh, so and so wants to be a friend, or so and so. I don't know who that so and so is. Will you let someone in your house because they knock on your door and say, "I want to be your friend"? Be selective who you allow in your home or even in your social media. So that's what it was doing. It's creating something that wasn't real. I would not have signed up for it if that didn't happen. I wanted to get the email for my friend. And then I opened it up, there was nothing to be said. It was just their Facebook account. See that? When I think about it, I'm angry. I'm very angry. So created a false narrative. They weren't trying to get in contact with me. There was no message. It's able to take your information, your emails. So if your friend had your email or ever emailed you, it gets somehow linked to their Facebook, and then it networks and it contacts you. Oh, so and so's trying to reach you. No, they weren't. So now this creature, he looks like a creature to me. Zuckerberg, that's his name. Zuckerberg. So it started out with a thief, and then now he wants to branch out. And look at his new logo. It's supposed to be like, looks like an infinity sign, but it's all distorted. It's all like, just look at it. It's some, I forget the name, Metaverse. That could be the name, Metaverse, something like that, with the infinity symbol that looks like it's warped. And it's a virtual reality environment that he provides for you, and you can buy clothes, you can do this or that, like a game. Why do we need to be in a fucking game? Why? Why do we need to get a virtual reality game? Oh, what we're going to wear today? Oh, well, let's buy clothes on virtual reality. Or let me talk to someone on virtual reality. They'll make it. This guy is not your friend. He's not your friend. In my opinion, he's a creature and a type of devil. That's Zuckerberg. He's a piece of poo, in my opinion. See, it's okay to have an invention or something to share with people, but when you are creating something to make people addicted to a lifestyle that's going to lead you down to despair. You don't think those VR games, the other reason why I threw out those Oculus Rift virtual reality glasses is because it has those LED lights. Um, to my understanding, the LED light has blue light That thing's going to mess up your eyes. It is because those goggles are right at your eyeballs. And I said to myself, I have to have on these things in your eye a constant light stream directly in your eye. You're going to get blind or something. I could hard like I have my reading glasses on now. My eyes are really bad. My vision used to be extremely good. I could see fine print. I can hardly read anything now without my glasses. I can see distance fine, but not close up. And I think a big part of it is due to being on the monitor all day. But again, going back to this Zuckerberg. So why dump his highly successful Facebook and now want to venture off in this? He's being my instincts are telling me he's being instructed. He's being led. Let me sit up. Oh, sorry. He's being led to do this. I don't think he's doing it on his own. I believe it's being led. I believe there's higher ups out there in reality. Um, some people might call them demons or cabal, whatever. But he's a tool of them. And I think he's a participant. He's an eager participant of it. And he wants to get to the next phase. The next phase is what they call transhumanism. Why be a human anymore? You can have an ideal life on virtual reality computer. You can eat what you want to, play food, play clothes, or play how everything. You don't need the real thing. There's a movie. I bought the movie. I don't remember the name, but it had something with virtual. It was um I think so. Oh God, I wish I could remember. But the protagonist, um I think he learned how to fight or something like that. People were out to get him, and he was, I think, tapping into his own abilities. And he ran into a room, and the room was filled with people. They're mostly guys. I think all of them were guys, and they're hooked up to an IV, and they had on a virtual reality goggles on. So that's the new dope, people. That is the new dope they want to give you. Yeah, the movie showed that people were now addicted to virtual reality, and for them to continue to be drug, because it's the new drug now. So they're hooked up to an IV, so they don't have to eat food. You just have it go directly in, the what do you call the IV bag. So they get their food through an IV, and they just watch and be a part of the virtual reality game. They're removed from reality and into this virtual world. They're really trying to work quickly, people. This demon is setting you up. He set us up for Facebook. Now phase two, to get, when you're in a virtual reality game, you're at home. They don't want you outside getting fresh air, smelling the flowers, getting exercise. They want you hooked to this game. Life is a game to him. It's a monopoly that he wants to control and control you, people. They make you think that it's free. It's not free. It's not going to be free, and it's going to become highly, highly addictive. Yeah, and Hollywood is sharing the secret. Yeah, you're going to have people, oh, go to this the movie theater, and you get hooked up to the VR game. And those of you who are going to have a marathon, movie marathon, oh, we could put the IV in your arm, and you could spend the whole weekend on virtual reality. We put hook you up with an IV so you get your food through an IV, and you just mega watch this virtual reality game. And then the next phase, hey, we'll take your brain, you take your mind, and we'll put it in the game. You could stay in there forever. There's another movie like that with the little people. Um, I mean, oh my goodness, it came out a couple of years ago. I forget the name, but they ask you, we could take you and shrink you in this little um make believe world. This oh, how did it go? I think yeah, there was a miniature world, and we have everything pretty for you. But we make a new house, and it's like a little dollhouse. But once you go in, you can't get out. It's permanent, and it was to be a husband and wife, and the wife, I think it was the wife, changed her mind at the last minute. So the husband now has to live the rest of his life alone from his wife, and have to create, a new relationship in this new place. Don't believe it, people. Don't believe that they can create a new world for you. It's going to be slavery. They want to control you. They want to make you into a little person so they can control you. You think those big people are going to do their job? You have imperfect people who want to create a perfect world for you. Hello. Don't believe it. You're dealing with humans, you're going to deal with mess. Don't do it. Remember, there was this Johnny Depp movie, and his movie also, um, to download his brain, or not brain, his mind in a computer, and he wanted to create a new world. Yeah. See, you notice with people, anytime they go into a new frontier, they want to invade it. They don't want to share. They want to invade. The human mind in some of us are like a virus. We want to invade. We don't share. In the United States, what do you call it? Thanksgiving is coming up this month, the end of this month. Thanksgiving. What was Thanksgiving about? You had people who invaded somebody else's land. They were treated with respect by the inhabitants. And then what happened? They destroyed them. And I know some of us, I mean, I am conservative in many aspects, but I'm not stupid. I'm not going to pretend that those pilgrims were our friends. They were not the friend of the Indian. They were part of a program from the mother country of Europe to invade another person's land and then import a labor force. See, they knew it was almost impossible to enslave the indigenous people. I mean, sure you can, but that, one thing to oppress somebody in their own land, it doesn't last long, and they perish. They can't do it. So they knew that, and so they brought in a labor force and enslaved them for over 400 years. Okay. But they want to romanticize that these were good people, these invaders from a faraway place. Thank you for, what's that? For helping us survive the winter. And then after that, be a part of an extermination plan. I mean, they may not have physically exterminated anyone, but it put in the foot in the door to allow a mass genocide and a mass human trafficking of people to be later enslaved and brutalized and dehumanized. I do like, though, Thanksgiving. I like the season. I like, I love autumn. I love the leaves and everything. And yeah, I want to stay connected to it because uh, it makes me feel more human. Being on the internet now, this is the internet that I'm on. So yes, it's a tool, but I have to do it in moderation because it can consume. And as I shared with many of you who've been following me, that yeah, I was getting severe neck ache from doing my videos. I was editing my videos, and the position of my neck when I'm doing the editing or even just watching, it goes in a very unnatural position. Not even when I was on, when I watched TV, an old fashioned TV, I never had this neck problem. I would be sitting back, relaxed, and just watching. I never had neck ache. So why is being on a computer different than the television? I never had neck ache watching a regular TV or even a flat screen. But now, on a monitor, for whatever reason, it's doing this to my neck. I think part of it is the engaging of it. They have these commercials. I think it's giving off some type of something, and it makes us addicted. Yes, I couldn't stop watching it at one time. I was bringing my device in the bathroom with me when I took a shower and other things in there. I'm being very honest. So I once before had took 40 days off the computer, and I was able to. Well, I went in this one. I was maybe 99% successful with it. And then this time, when I wanted to do um, a detox from the internet, um, yeah, I see that I'm more connected with it. Let me tell you, like to um, to monitor my bank account, to what do you call it? To make sure that that but yeah, that you balance your account. Yeah, so I said, wow, because I use my online banking to um, balance my account. So I said, wow, I can't go off of it totally because I have to manage my account. And then my neck would get hurt again. Yeah. And then I decided, yeah, my plan was to go off the internet for 3 months at least. I wanted to come back on in November, like right now. But I started, let's see, I started the end of July, and then I did the month of August, and September 1st I went back on because I felt it was important to get something. I was almost mugged, and I felt that I needed to get reconnected to the internet because I thought I needed to. I was thinking about moving, and I said, "Look, I have to do my research." And again, doing a lot of research, you know, a lot of research now is done on the internet. If I need to make a plane arrangement, or you know, I you, many times you have to do this online. So I felt forced to get uh, my internet connected again at home. Yeah, I did not connect my cell phone. That I kept off. Yeah, I terminated my cell phone service. Yeah. Also, look, notice out there. I started noticing a couple of years ago. Oops, sorry about that, my finger. Yeah, start noticing this. It's really bugging me. You know, it's when you go outside, everybody's looking down at their damn phone and just staring at it. I was doing the same thing. I caught myself doing the same thing that I didn't like. I said, I don't want to look like these people. I don't want it. I don't want it. And I don't think this game with Zuckerberg's, what do you call it, metaverse, it's not real. He doesn't even look real either. Look at him. Does this guy look real? And I'm not just trying to be mean. Excuse me. I'm not trying to be mean, but he doesn't look real. I can't imagine what these people do at home. I bet they'll, I don't know. I don't know, people. So he's implementing all of a sudden this game, even though there's already virtual reality games that people, you join, like you get like an account or something, and you can join different rooms. They already have something like this. I've tried it before by accident. I I had to set up my what do you call it? My virtual reality. What do you call it? Oculus Rift, and you join membership with Oculus Rift, and then one thing led to another with it, and I found out about this thing, and people have games on it, like a game, like a competition or something. I don't fully understand it. Yeah, it was weird. Um, but it's sucking you into a vortex, people, and you won't be able to get out. You get in there. See, Satan knows his time is short, and they're quick in it. Why is he doing it all of a sudden? He's trying to get to the next phase before you all wake up. You better start waking up now, people, because they're going to do a number on you. So they want to get you with the jab in the arm, make you afraid. Oh, keep you at home. Hey, have this virtual reality game. So now you don't, you lock yourself in your home. And winter is coming in New York, you know? Winter is almost here, right? What do people do in winter? A lot of times people stay at home in winter. Hey, just in time for Christmas, join his virtual reality game. You don't go out. You don't think they're going to be doing things in this virtual reality game? reprogram you? Because see, now you have those nanoparticles in your arm, and maybe it might work in conjunction with this virtual reality game to get you really hooked and robotoid. You become a robot. Uh-uh. Nope. Don't do it, people. Don't do it. Don't do it, please. Please don't do it. Why don't you just you have family that you get along with? Why don't you just go, maybe have a nice meal together, tea or something, uh, sandwiches, and just sit and talk for a moment. We don't know how to be human. I met someone about maybe 2 months ago, and I handed them my telephone number, and their first response was, "Oh, I'll give you a text." I said, "Oh, that's not my cell phone number. That's my home number." And I haven't heard from them. I bump into them outside. People don't know how to talk to people over a phone. Everybody just wants to text each other. Everything is just print, you know? There's no human soul. You know what I'm saying? When you hear somebody's voice, a real voice, a real voice when you listen to speech. See, communication is multi level. Sorry. Communication is multi level. It's not just the words that are being said, it's how it's being said. Communicates. Communication is in many levels. It communicates and it affects you. We can't deal with human emotion anymore because it's so flighty. You can be up one minute, you can be down in another. And we're being conditioned to not being able to respond or feel comfortable because it's too much. Human emotion, human touch is too much. We're becoming unreal. When I watch YouTube, that I'm bombarded with commercials. This new commercial now is geared targeting women to wear. In essence, what it is a corset. A corset is a device that you wrap around your waist, your torso, and then you tighten it. And the lady's saying, "Oh, you know, uh, that she wants to have this hourglass figure, and she does all this and that exercise, but this will help sculpt your body." Now, this is a big ass woman. She's a big woman, and she has a lot of makeup on, very big on the top and bottom. And then she wants to put this girdle on. This is like a squeeze, 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 squeeze. Why do you think that they stopped the corset? You know what was happening with the corsets? I think that they used to wear it in the 1700s, 1800s, and who knows, maybe even the early 1900s. It would, women would faint all the time. You get, when you get excited or something, you can't breathe in well, and then you pass out. You hyperventilate because you're not getting the oxygen. You hyperventilate and you faint. That's why you need those movies, those old time movies. those time period movies. They always show these ladies fainting, and they trying to play it off. Oh, isn't that feminine? No, it's not. They had the corset on and they couldn't breathe. It was pressing their organs into each other. You think you're getting good circulation, people, wearing a corset? Why don't you stop the problem and stop overeating? You're overeating, people. That's why you got a big gut, because you overeat. And the food's not real food either. It's full of chemicals. I'm not trying to sound anal. I'm not trying to sound anal. I like food. But I see, like, I remember one time, some years back, it's over 20 years ago. I took maybe 1 week off of, I think I did a fast. I just had water, and I just wanted to, cleanse, try this cleansing. I think, yeah, I think that's what I did. It could have been a week or 3 days. And then I foolishly ate a piece of candy. And it tasted weird, people. And I realized that this food, and even these comfort foods and snacks, have these chemicals that you taste this weirdness in it. And what happens, so once you start tasting again these weird chemicals, your tongue gets immune to the taste. You no longer taste it, but it's there. Wow. You don't think these things have effects on your body? And oh, I gotta show you this thing. Maybe I'll take a picture of it. Well, there is this store near where I live. It had pastries. I mean, all those little finger food pastries. And New York City, uh, they know how to make, these pastries. And they look good. I used to be a baker, a professional baker. And I had to make little things like that, little desserts. And I got surprised one day. I said, "Oh, isn't this the same place? Oh, maybe they're not closed." Because I see the desserts out there. And I kind of peek in. I say, "Hey, this thing, I don't see anybody inside still. But you got all these desserts." I said, "Oh, maybe it's going to open up later on." No, it's not opening up later on. It's closed. It's been closed for months. And they didn't even, some of the stores here in New York City who were forced to close down because of this pandemic, um, they left everything there. They abandoned this stuff. They abandoned this, what do you call it? Food, this store that sells, desserts, coffees, teas, etc. And they just abandoned them. And it's still intact. They have a fruit, what do you call it? They call them tartlets. It's a pastry dough, and then it's supposed to be a custard, and then on top of the custard, these fruits, and then they put a glaze on it. It's in perfect condition. I hope you hear me, guys. You hear me out there? Let me, give me, press the one that if you can hear me and understand what I'm getting at. They even have this other dessert that has sprinkled sugar on top, and it's in perfect condition. This isn't real food, people. Sorry about that. See, he doesn't like me talk about what I'm talking about. It just tried to disconnect. Yeah, this store has desserts that are in pristine condition, and it's I think over 2 months old. It's just out. It's in a, what do you call it, in the showcase, and it's actual preserved. That's not real food. See, I used to make those things. Um, Protein, like it's custard is made with milk and eggs. That's extremely perishable. Fruit, one day, no more than 2 days. You got to throw it out. This thing is preserved. It looks pristine. I give you a homework assignment. Those of you who reach this far in this video, I, I ask you this: go in a store and buy one of those little finger food, those little dessert things. Fits in the palm of your hand. Take it and put it on top of the um, your countertop. You could put like a bowl over it or something, see-through bowl, something you can see through, so no bugs could get into it. And see how long it takes for it to get mold or whatever on it. It's not going to change. Someone was making a comment one day on one on YouTube. They were saying that they bought this fast food. I'm not going to name the company, but we all know it. They bought a hamburger and fries, and they had put it in their pocket for something, and they forgot about it, according to this video. And then they took it out, and the hamburger was pristine. The bun, the burger, and the fries, like it was new. Oh my goodness. It's not real food, people. Real food, food that is real, that has energy in it, life force in it, perish very quickly. Because, see, we have to be connected to our life giver. That's how fragile our life really is. Come on. The number stopped on it. Come on, let's go back on. Okay. See, it's my battery could be getting low too. Okay. So, yeah, do that as a homework assignment, people. Try it. Buy a little, those little desserts, keep it on the counter, and see, does it get old? You think it, how is it going to react to your body? Don't you ever wonder why you get sick? You're not eating real food. And that's what virtual reality is all about. Make it look real, but it's not real, but it's going to kill you slowly. They'll put in things that look good. They try to get you sexually, maybe. Oh, yeah, they get a virtual reality person that you can get involved with sexually, maybe. Make it look real, but it's fake. Get this figure, have these women now do these commercials to get a small waist rather than going on a diet. Oh, we'll just wear this corset. Well, remember, the corset causes damages, it pushes your organs. You can't breathe. You're going to put on a fucking corset during this time with this pandemic? Hello, people. Does that make sense to you? To put on a corset during this time when you can't even breathe? So you're going to have a mask on and then put a corset on and tighten it up? You're going to die just to look a certain way. Come on, people. treat yourself well. That's not treating yourself well. It's about making people think you're something that you're not. And that's what virtual reality game is about. Make you think you're something that you're not. With that, okay, I'm gonna now talk about, you know, this whole thing, people being something that they're not. Well, we just had in New York City elections for mayor, okay? And we got a new mayor. I'm not sure if there was a term limit on mayor. Our current mayor, oh, I don't even know how long it's been in. He could have had 2 terms. I'm not sure now. I haven't really followed him, to be honest. De Blasio, Mayor de Blasio, a total failure. Total failure, this whole thing, this whole crisis. The streets in New York City, do you know there's a lot of rats running around? Now, this is supposed to be a pandemic, right? Wait, you didn't clean the street? You didn't pick up the garbage? Don't you know that rats harbor diseases? But it's supposed to be a pandemic about keeping things clean and safe, but they didn't do the basics in picking up the garbage and have an infestation of rats. I told you about that. I was on, I think it was, oh, what street was it? It was either 51st Street or 53rd Street. And it was a swarm of rats. A swarm. A swarm is not two, it's not three, it's not five. It could have been maybe 25, 30 rats all in a huddle right next to this pile of garbage. I couldn't believe this was yeah, I used to get up really early in the morning and do my walks. And I'm with my dogs. I saw a whole pack of those rats all over the city. They're not picking up the garbage. Not at all. They're not doing a damn thing. There's no accountability. And now they implemented in New York City, if you don't get the jibber jab, they're going to fire you. And even the firemen, the firemen, they're going to fire them. They said, you don't get the needle this past Monday, we're going to leave without pay. Something like that. Leave without pay. They're not getting paid or they're getting fired. How could you do that? What if there's a fire? And the police people also. You don't get the jibber jab, then you're out of a job. I don't believe that. They know what they're doing. People. I can't believe that they're harming. I can't believe this. They lack wisdom. You're gonna for a fucking cold. You're gonna impose. So what if they have allergies? If it's about just get a face shield, but see they don't want you to have the face shield. Oh, you have to have the mask. I mean, one time I had a shield on. Oh, you can't come in here next time with that. You have to have a mask. Well, isn't the face shield more effective if it's about talking and communicating with people? Because you have to protect your eyes also. If this pandemic was real, your eyes have to be covered also because it goes in your eye. Oh, but that's okay. Just have it over your nose and mouth so you can't breathe. So if you're already sick, let's say you're obese and you have problem breathing, your cortisol levels are going to rise so high because of stress. Not having enough oxygen causes stress on the body and causes the immune system to uh, be in a stress response. And the stress response is an increase in cortisol and an increase in adrenaline. So you're in a constant fight or flight state of being. And that's not healthy for the human body. Okay, so none of this is making sense. They're irrational, and they're getting irrational people in government, and it's a takeover. It's a planetary takeover. So getting back to New York City, I know I kind of go all over the place, but I hope I'm making sense to you. Let me know if I'm making sense to you. Type a one for yes if I'm making sense, and press a two if I'm not making sense. Let me know what you think. What's going on? Well, New York City, okay, we just had an election. We got a new mayor. I've never even heard of him. His name, I think it was Eric Adams. Eric Adams. He's a black fellow, and he's from near where I used to live in Queens. Yeah, he lived in. He said he's from South Jamaica. That South Jamaica is a very, very poor, high crime, high violent crime neighborhood. And yeah, he sounds like he's from there. He looks like a real. He sounds and looks like a real New Yorker. And he went out to this Republican, Sliwa. Oh, what's his name? How could I forget his first name? Oh, it'll come to me. Yeah, his last name is Sliwa, and he's been in. Get this. This is really something. How common sense goes out the window. He's been in the um, New York scene for 42 years. Okay, I have to hurry up. My battery. I just got a signal. My battery's running low. Okay. Um, yeah. So, yeah, he ran for mayor, and he has a very colorful past. He had a radio program in the early '80s. I was just a teen at the time. He's a little older than me, and he was very funny. He was married to a different person. They both came on the radio together. They were very creative in their language usage. He he's very good in uh, expression. Use making up new words. And I think he lost the race because I think people saw through him. Now he started out in New York City in 1979. He's the founder of the Guardian Angels. Have any of you ever heard of him, the Guardian Angels? Yeah, he was a member of that. They wear red berets, and they um, went on they're known for being on the subway to be a deterrent for crime. And the cops didn't like him because they felt, who's this guy? And they're trying to say we can't do our job. They didn't get along. The Guardian Angels and the police in New York did not get along. It's an international organization now. They're all over. And um, he had a radio program in the early '80s. That's where I learned of him. He's very funny. And then many years passed. Okay, my battery is running low. Yeah, let me put that. I have to plug it in. Oh, sorry. Hope you guys. You have to find the plug. Plug it in. Yeah, it's gonna go off soon, I think. Let me try to get it in before it gets itself. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna go off soon, I think. Oh, I have to put this thing on. Yeah, the power. I think that's what was could have been happening. Okay, I put the plug back on. Oh, okay. So I put the plug in. Hopefully it continues charging up. So I just have to really hurry now. Okay, yeah, he's been in the Guardian. Yeah, he's been in politics for long. Media for a long time, and then he got on conservative radio. But before he was on conservative radio, he came across like he was the friend of the black man and the Hispanic in New York, you know. He seemed to understand the plight or what's happening with the poor and the so-called minority in New York City. And, he's formed an organization that was to protect primarily people of color. You know, he seemed like he understood. And then many years passed, and then he was on conservative radio. Now, I am a conservative at heart. I have both. I'm conservative about many things, and I'm so-called liberal with many things too. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. But I'm more of a conservative. But either way, he gets on this new platform, getting more political, and he started to say things, at least how I took it. Again, we all have different perspectives on things, and I felt that he was talking down to the poor, down to he didn't seem in favor of the people who got him popular. He seemed to poo-poo the minority, so-called minority community, and he was very radical. He seemed very radical, in my opinion. Just his whole persona was different and hostile to the needs of the poor, in my opinion. And I think some people remember that. Yeah, this might have been 10, 15 years ago. He just changed. I said, is this the same guy that came out in the early 80s that I knew? He seemed to have a total turnaround, and he was now in alignment with a different political party. I think he's a Republican or became Republican. I think. And then now he wants to run for office, and it was bizarre. He's wearing his outfit, his guardian angel outfit that we all know him by. But he lost the race. I don't think it impressed people when he said that he lived in a 300 plus foot apartment. That's a little bigger than this room, I think, with 17 cats and a wife. I didn't think that played very well. And what does that have? He wants to make you think that he's all with, people and life. He said, if you don't respect animals, a society that doesn't respect animals, you question about how they think about humans, something like that. Uh-oh. Sorry. I forgot. That's my alarm. Let me sit down. Oh, sorry, people. Let me get reacclimated here. What happened here? Okay. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock now. That's my timer. Yeah, I hope you guys could still hear me. But yeah, he started a campaign, and it seemed to be done late. Like, I just recently saw that he was running for mayor. But I don't think his platform really did well. Talk about animals. I love animals. I have 3 little dogs. But I think with today, with the virus and all that, they weren't willing to hear about animals. But it's something. He has been in New York politics or mainstream for the past 42 years. And here, a newcomer, I think his name is Eric Adams, a poor dude. Um, he started out in South Jamaica, Queens, has a real South Jamaica, Queens accent. And I found out that he won. And I went on the internet to find out more about, I went on YouTube to find out who he was. And I saw his speech. Yeah, I saw Sleewer's speech first, that he lost the race. And then I found out who the winner was. And then I found a video with him on. And I saw who was behind him. Now, I never heard of this person. I never saw any advertisement, any posters of this fellow. And I walk all over New York City. And I never saw this individual. Never. Who is this person? How did he get it? How did he win? Nothing. I think what happened, um, there was nothing. And so they would determine, see, New York City is a Democrat state. It's Democrats. It's run by Democrats. And they're having this, what I call a movement that really catapulted with the death of George Floyd. And they using this so-called black movement. Yes, I'm a black woman, but I can spot out BS, and that's what I'm. That's what that's what I see. It's a lot of BS happening. Just someone taught me in YouTube. Not all skin folk is kinfolk, meaning just because a person is of your race doesn't make them family. And they had a good point. And what I perceive what's happening with this new, this election, and we're going to have a new mayor, look at the people who are behind him on that stage. This is going to be another puppet. I think he also said he became, yes, I think he became a police officer. I have to really research him a little more. His speech, his victory speech for mayor, of becoming mayor-elect of New York City, he tried to sound like he's from the street, and like he's one of us, one of the with the poor, and try to really sound really streety. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear someone who sounds like they have intelligence, someone who has a rich plan of ideas to shape up New York City, not just another de Blasio of failure. You have a black man. This would be the second black man to be mayor of New York City. See, people are tired. A lot of the whites left New York City, the rich. And so it's the age of the minority in New York City. Everywhere you look, you have posters, advertisements with people of color. And primarily, when I say people of color, primarily I mean black people. Like a virtual reality game, not everything you see is real. And just because someone shows you someone of color does not mean that racism ended. It's a pacification to make you give you a false sense of security. Yes, I do enjoy seeing people of color in advertisement, in an attractive advertisement that displays us, people of color in a positive way. Sure, that's nice to see. But I want to see all types of people, not just black people, all types of people. Because there's all types of people that live here. So I want us all represented. The real proof is living conditions. Are you in poverty still? What is your education? Are you being educated, or are you being pacified and your school is really a prison for you to go to every day? Are they teaching you? Are they creating potential inventors, healers, doctors, engineers, artists? Or are they creating people to hang out outside with their cell phone and playing games all day? Are they cleaning the streets? They have this person who I've never heard before. And they had people behind him. One half of the people on his right, were all black. And then the people that you saw on his left were from the Jewish Orthodox community. I said, wow. Who is he? How did this happen? Well, in New York City, for you to win anything in New York City, you have to have their vote for you to win. Which reminds me of Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan, have you ever heard of him? He's been around for many years. He came into his position in the 1970s. And yeah, he's from New York City. I think it's from New York City. What is that? I forget now. Oh, brother, I don't want to give wrong information. I forget where. He's in Chicago. At least he's stationed now in Chicago. I forget what state he's from. Maybe it's from Boston. I forget. Those of you who know. But either way, he had a meeting with the Jewish Orthodox community. He shared this story, and they had a nice meal for him. And then they said, to come in this other room after he was eating, to have the meeting. And basically, they told him that, you had his, the Million Man's March. He says, we have the power to leave that out of history, leave that out the history books to be forgotten, or we have the power to keep it in the history books and you be known if you do this for us. Why do I mention that? Well, they are a powerful group, and no one should be threatened to be a puppet for somebody else, especially someone who claims to be persecuted in history. And then you're going to persecute somebody in modern history who's being persecuted in the Americas, and to not have compassion for that group and bully them like how they bullied you in Europe. Shame on you. So they were bullying him, and he told them no. They control the Jewish community in New York City, hold high positions in the Board of Ed. I think they try to dismantle the Board of Ed, but there still is an organizing body of the educational system in New York City. I think it's one of the largest in the world. And they hold a very strong union too. Yeah, I had family members who were teachers. Yes. And so they control what the children in New York City learn. And he's letting them know, him know, Farrakhan know, whether or not he'll be forgotten in history. Because remember, there was a Million Man March some year, 20 something years ago. And they want to try to downplay the significance of that. Now, I did not go to that. It was a Million Man March. It was known as. And whether there was actually 1 million or over a million, the point is that men came together. The point of that move, that march, was to get the black man to remind them to be, about accountability. It's about accountability and getting certain things done in your life, and to fellowship with other people of your community to make a positive stance. That was the point. And even during that time, it was, I remember when he was to have the march. And I remember the fear I had about this march. Because everything about with Farrakhan was to be feared. And I wanted to find out who this person was. So I went to the library. So I wanted to understand why I felt fear. Who is this man? And I'm a black woman from New York City. So I went to the Queen's Library, the main one. And guess what? I found a book, a biography on Louis Farrakhan, written by a Jewish man. And yes, they had a black man to approve the book, this light-skinned black fellow. And I went to the desk to take the book out, and guess what? It was a young woman, Jewish woman, and she takes the book. I had several books, I think, but that one, she holds on the tiny part of her finger, like dangling it, and goes, ew, because who was on the cover? And I should have reported her. Now they're going to teach people of the Orthodox Jewish community that he's your enemy? I've had books on World War II about Hitler. They didn't do that. Louis Farrakhan never murdered anybody from their community, the Jewish community. Now, do I agree with everything with Louis Farrakhan? No, I don't agree with everything with him. But that type of attitude to teach in that community, he is being poo-pooed as an anti-Semite. See, there's a difference between someone who is really anti-Jewish. It's not a semi-Jewish. Are they anti-Jewish? Or are they individuals who are exposing certain things that certain individuals of that community do? How many of them are anti-black? Hello? How many of them are anti-black? How many of them are anti-Christian? There are a lot of things that are being done, but we have to live together. So this person, this Louis Farrakhan, was being threatened. They wanted him to be a puppet, and he said no.
So now he's being coined to be a certain thing. But again, who are you? Who are you? What is your actions? You know, action speaks louder than words. Who is Bill Gates? He's someone from that same from the Jewish community, and he's going in Africa. Picture of him in Africa, has his hand on top of the head of this black boy, putting this so-called medicine in his mouth, and he doesn't even have gloves on. Fucking nasty. And he's doing this stuff with the virus. But yet, they're worried about who's being called an anti Semite, and look at them. And no, this is not an anti Jewish rant. I'm just noticing things. See, it's a smokescreen. When you get close to what a devil, and a devil, the deceiver, I'm talking about deceptive individuals. And some of them may be members of certain groups. There are all types of devils that reside in many different groups and peoples and religions, not just one. So sometimes, I guess when I'm saying that, someone might be pointing a finger at you, but they need to start pointing fingers at themselves to examine what their motive is. Why is it that my life is being dictated by people who don't know me, dictated by people who don't know my health, but yet they want me to take a particular protocol that might be in not be in harmony with my being? Why is this being forced? And why aren't they being called out? And even when some of them are being called out, how come they're not being prosecuted because of what they are and the positions that they hold? And so this new election in New York City, hearing how this guy talks, I thought this was a joke. Go look at the video. I think his name is Eric Adams. Just look up new mayor of New York City, and you'll see it. The people on his right side is one race, and then the people on the left side were from this group. New York City has a lot of people. It has all different types of people. It has Asians. It has Hispanics. It has blacks. It has whites. It has West Indians. It has everything. It has European. It has everything. But you didn't see this. Why is it that, okay, the Jewish population, oh, it's a relatively small group. So how is that they're on the stage? You don't see any Italians or Irish looking people. You don't see Hispanics. You don't see Chinese or Koreans or Filipinos. So they talk about this collectiveness to be, to unite New York, that is not about race and all that, which sounds nice, but how come on that stage it's not represented? How did he win? Well, he won because they didn't want a Republican in office, because they want to continue the foolishness in New York City. They want to continue making black people stupid. You think because they have a black fellow there that we've overcome? Baby, you better hold on tight, because this is going to be a crazy ride. This is not going to be a utopia. This is about, okay, they got a puppet. They knew they couldn't control Sliwa, the guy that's from the Guardian Angels. They knew they couldn't control him. And I think over the years he offended people. And he also admitted, he was in a car accident recently. And actually, when he came on stage to let the people know that he lost the race, he had his arm in a brace. Yes, he said he got hit by a taxi. Wow. And he also mentioned that the mafia was out to get him too at one time. So he's made a lot of enemies. Yeah, yeah, he made a lot of enemies. And so they got a new guy because again, New York City now is about the so-called year of the black and the minority. But instead, what you see is more social decay. You have more social decay of black people in New York City because of this pandemic. You have a lot of homeless people that were brought into New York City. I was told by the community affairs department of the police station that they brought in. I mean, not they, the police, but the system brought in 3,000 homeless people and put them in the hotels. And then there was notice a couple of months ago, we're going to remove them and put them back into regular shelters. Baloney. They are here, and you have more people now from other states homeless, really looking crazy. You even have poor whites moving into New York City from out of state, and they look even freakier than the poor people here in New York City. They stand out like a sore thumb. Yeah, they get this new mayor, and people, you're not going to see anything. What I perceive, because see, we have these things. History just repeats itself. They have this guy because they need to find someone who they can control, because they're going to be implementing more things, more oppressive things to the people of New York, not just New York City. There's going to be more restrictions. The kids aren't going to be educated. They're going to be dumbed down. Yeah, this is not the year of the black man. This is about the year of our torture, our demise. Yeah, we're not going to, it's horrible. Look in these black neighborhoods. You have all these, didn't you hear a couple of days back that this current administration is to make sure that the thing is going on. Yes, still going. The current administration, they said, is going to give each of the migrants over $400,000 each for being separated from their families. Isn't that a reparations, people? Why aren't they giving black people in New York City $400,000? You think they could buy a home with that? School? They're not giving us anything. I can't believe it. And where they're going to go? They're going to go to New York City. They're going to go to the major cities. And the so-called minorities that are already living here are going to be in competition, and they're going to be left out. We're going to be left out because they don't want to hire us. They're not going to hire you in the restaurants. They're not going to hire you for even the cleaning jobs. They're going to get these immigrants, these new arrivals, to do it. You don't see these migrants living on the streets here in New York. They're in jobs. But you see a whole bunch of black dudes selling drugs. I saw someone shooting up in his arm. I couldn't believe it. Or they're walking around with dresses on, out of their mind. This is the New York that they want you to have. They don't want the alpha male. They're not, their plan is not to educate the alpha male, but to keep them prisoner and replace us with new immigrants, because then you can tell them what to do. You can tell them, oh, get the shot, and they'll do it because they want to stay here. I'm very sad about this. I'm very, very sad about this. Yeah, this is, yeah, they want to distract you with the new faces, the new advertisements. But they're not teaching you. They're not teaching you survival. They're not teaching you real local history. They want you to just stay behind your cell phone and illusions. Look this way, look that way. Or learn about some dumbass pyramid. A pyramid cannot save you. A pyramid does not serve you. It doesn't teach you about family and community. We need family and community. Yeah, it'd be very interesting how things shape up here. Um, I'm disappointed about where I see it headed. This is the I'm born and raised here in New York City. I think it's the best place in the world, in my opinion. It is a fantastic city with opportunities, but it's highly corrupted. And that there's a lot of things going on underneath. Bullying. It's a lot of theft going on, a lot of theft with housing. The landlords are getting paid double. Yeah, it's a scheme here. And it's the same type of people who are behind the jibber jab, behind the current election. It's the same people, the same type of people. And it's like it keeps showing up again. And you say, well, no, don't stereotype. But you see the same people up there, the landlords, now the educational system. Who controls all that? Who controls the banking? The same type of person. And yes, they will destroy any race and any religious group. Keep your eyes open, people. Keep your eyes open, and you can't keep them open in a virtual reality game. Again, look at the race of that person. What group do they belong to? This Facebook guy, Zuckerberg. What is he? He wants to create your reality, in my opinion, and pull the plug on you. You cannot see the world with fake glasses on. You throw out those virtual reality goggles like I did and start going out there. Smell the flowers, the trees, the leaves, the grass. Get out there and get reconnected with yourself. Don't get stuck behind a virtual reality game and fakery. There's a lot of fakery people. I look at some of these videos and it's just fake. Fake. We have to learn to talk to one another. We have to learn how to talk. We're not even talking, we're texting. Now I do like texting. When I used to have phone service, I did text. But I like talking too. I want to talk to real people. Let's be real. They're trying to steal our humanity from us. We're in control. We are the control. Remind yourself that. They're trying to make you think that they have the power. Yeah, they have some power. But you stick together as one and out those devils. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. And then pat yourself on the back. Yes, I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I've been on for a while now. Yes, this is a beautiful city that you're seeing here on the monitor in front of you. It is beautiful. I love this city. And I really want to stay. I really want to stay. Because see, it's like this all over. I have to stay calm, as I said earlier. Don't jump out of the pot and into the fire. I've done that. Yeah, stock up. I did grocery shopping yesterday. I bought a lot of canned goods, things that could last a while. I bought things that you don't have to cook. Yeah. Uh, I have bottled water. I think I might get more water. Yeah, get your bottled water and buy non-perishables, things that could stay, things that don't perish right away, like canned goods, food. Get food that you know you're going to eat, because it's going to be a time, yeah, it's going to be an early winter. Yesterday was like winter. It was cold. It was cold. Get prepared. Get warm things. They have to call Mylar, Mylar, Mylar. It looks like aluminum foil. Those joggers, like the marathon, and then they wrap it around their body to hold in the heat. Buy that. Buy things that would keep you warm. It's not expensive at all. They have Mylar like a sleeping bag. They have that type. They have the blanket, Mylar blanket. They have a Mylar poncho that you could put on. It's lightweight and it holds in body heat. It's gonna be a cold ass winter. Get supplies for your medicine cabinet. Ask your parents or granny grandpa, what remedies they use to treat, colds and flus, things like that. Get that. Start talking to them. Bring them in your home. Bring in these supplies in your home now to serve you. Okay. Again, get non-perishable foods that you're going to eat. Things that, why bring in something you're not going to eat it? Get it. Bring in your house. You do it in bits and bits and put it somewhere safe. Do that because it could be a shortage. I'm not trying to do a fear mongering here, but I'm just saying. It's good. The weather is changing so rapidly. Everything's changing rapidly. And this pandemic is just going to go, I feel it's going to go to a next level. And I just don't, I don't want any of us unprepared. I have to think of things what I need to do too. But I just feel wisdom is telling me just bring in some things in your home that can help you in case of a problem. As for toilet paper, things like that, okay, they try to get you on that. What I've been doing, well, my hand's getting numb here. What I've been doing, I 2 years now, I think over 2 years, I've been using cloth. I live near, where they have a lot of fabric stores, and I bought some fabric that you can cut up in little pieces. I bought fabric for different things, like um, if I go, to the bathroom, you can have one cloth for your, if you're a woman, from your front part, and then a different one for your, your rear end, and then have another one for my nose. This color code, this color coded, and you get something that's soft, that that's strong and durable, and you rinse it out, and you hang it to dry, and it dries quickly. When I see these people fighting for toilet paper, these fat ass people fighting for toilet paper, as if this is a joke. I have these cloths. I'm not out there. I haven't bought tissue, toilet paper, and I think over 2 years. They make you think you need it. What did your granny use? They didn't have toilet, all these things, and it make you think it's for your convenience. It's for your for your bondage. That if you don't have it, you're lost. That's why I say get back to nature if you can. Learn the simple ways. Learn the old ways, how to do things if you can. And it's a start. Toilet paper. Use a cloth. Use a soft cloth. After you use it, you just wash it. It's your body. It's your germs. And you handle your stuff. After each use, you wash it out right in the sink. It's real easy. It's a no-brainer. A no-brainer. They don't want you to know this. Use it. You said, wow, this is easy. It's easy. Real easy. Learn the basics and get out there. If it's safe for you to do so, go outside and get that fresh air. Dress warm. Yeah, I live in New York City. It's cold. Yesterday it was freezing. Yeah. You can maybe look on the internet. I want to buy what they call it, some people call it like a jumpsuit or overalls. It's like a one-piece thing. And they have some for extremely cold weather. Some as low as minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Honey, and it has a hood. I want to get it. I want to get it. Yeah, I want to get more than one. Maybe one for indoors. Indoor, not as thick, and then a heavy one for outside. Yeah, because I want to save money with electricity. I use a lot of electricity. I'm trying to uh, get out of that. That's why I want to go out. They have us dependent on electricity. I don't want to be dependent on it. Yeah, I want to be more and more. I want autonomy. Strive for autonomy and peace, not the illusions of wealth. It's all an illusion and fake. They're not happy. I worked with people who made a lot of money when I was in the business world. I used to work in the Wall Street area, the financial district, and I worked with some horrible people. Asked them what their problem is. Yeah, I left it. I said, I'm out of here. Yeah, I left and I went in another field. Yeah. So people, yeah, I've been on here for a while now, and I hope I made a lot of sense. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's not about making you fearful, but to be aware, to accept yourself, to accept yourself, to have control over your own body. It's your body, your choice, your rights. And stop having these people who don't even know you tell you what to do with your life, your body, yet they're going around and they don't have the mask on, and I doubt they got the real jibber jab. Don't believe it. Yeah, and at the mayor's thing, the winner, none of them had phony. But yes, there are people who got sick. Use wisdom in everything. Yeah, drink your water. Yeah, I have to go and drink my water now. Yeah, I have to stay hydrated. In cold weather too, your skin gets dry. You need to keep hydrated. Yeah, to flush out your body of the things, that you need to be, purged from. Yeah. So I thank you for this opportunity to talk to you. It's always a pleasure doing these early morning live streams. This is my favorite to do. Yeah. Peace and love to you. Uh, do, go within and discover who you are. Okay? Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.